The bitter political divide in Tennessee, the state's House of Representatives voting to expel 2 Democratic lawmakers for their role in a gun control protest at the state capitol. It is the first partisan expulsion in the state's modern history.
Representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson both ousted for violating decorum last week, protesting gun reform on the floor without being called upon.
Tennessee. This is the protest that sparked the expulsions. Representative Justin Jones speaking through a bullhorn because his microphone had been shut off.
What is happening in Tennessee and frankly across the South is in fact Jim Crow. What Jim Crow was blocking black people from the ability to have participation in their government.
What are we going to do today, colleagues? How are we going to address the crisis at hand? Our people are asking us back. There's thousands of them. And we're here hiding from the people. We need action. We need action. We need action.
The extraordinary punishment for an act of peaceful protest, inflaming the already heated partisan divide, now drawing national attention. President Biden speaking with all 3 targeted lawmakers in a video call tonight.
Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris traveling to Tennessee to meet with the Democratic representatives ousted by the state's Republican-led House.
Representative Justin Jones of the 57th Representative District expelled.
As the Republican supermajority in the State House voted Thursday to expel Democratic Representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson. Supporters inside the chamber cheered as Johnson survived a vote to expel her. All 3 of the Democrats insist the final outcome was racially motivated.
The black lawmakers expelled, but Gloria Johnson, who is white, surviving removal by a single vote.
And then poof, all the black people are gone.
I will answer your question. It might have to do with the color of our skin.
She didn't use the bullhorn, the megaphone. She didn't yell. They were distinguishing her behavior.
The 2 Democrats kicked out are black men. The one Democrat who survived a vote is a white woman.
The 3 exited the House chamber together on Thursday, but the results of the split vote are drawing accusations now of racism from all corners of the country. You see, Republican legislators voted to expel Representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, who were both black. However, Representative Gloria Johnson, who is white, survived by a single vote. The group says this decision is an attack on democracy.
Is one outstanding question that I think demands answers is why those 2 particular lawmakers were expelled and not the other one. There were 3. They were all leading these demonstrations. And right now, there are no answers. They haven't said why not all 3 of them.
Why were those 2 expelled and you weren't?
Well, I think it's pretty clear I'm a 60-year-old white woman, and they are 2 young black men.
And as regards the question of race, why didn't they expel the white woman? Well, she missed expulsion by 1 vote. People should know that. They tried to expel her. She was stripped of committee chairmanships or memberships in the Tennessee legislature. And she did not use the bullhorn. That was the reason that she was not expelled. But whenever possible, they will say racism. But of course, had she been expelled, they just would have said misogyny. So it doesn't matter. They got you coming and going.
Democracy says you don't silence the people. You do not stifle the people. You don't turn off their microphones when they are speaking about the importance of life and liberty. They had to get a bullhorn to be heard. Well, you know what? That happens in a democracy, too.
There is a lot of talk about the motivations of Republicans in Tennessee. There have been accusations of racism as to why the 2 black men were expelled and the white lady representative was not. Tell us in your own words, please, why were those 2 Tennessee reps expelled?
We were conducting business that Thursday. Members were presenting their bills for their 70,000 plus constituents apiece. These members decide, hey, we think we're going to be above the rules of this chamber. They start yelling into the microphone because there's a crowd of people there. We're going to start banging the desk. We're going to get our bullhorn out and start inciting these people who are here for good reason.
But each and every one of you are proof that we will not be silent. We will not be quiet. We will not be stopped in our pursuit.
What we had that day was professional protesters as members of our body exercising their protesting ability when they need to be following the rules of the House. They were gavelled down by the Speaker. They were asked multiple times, please return to your seats. Please return to your seats. Well, they did. They continued to occupy that well for 20 to 30 minutes, being asked repeatedly and repeatedly, please return to your seats. If it wasn't for Democratic leadership, Karen Camper, who I have a lot of respect for, Joe Towns, they go out there, and if you watch the end of that video, you'll see a lady telling them, get back. You get out of the well, back to your seats, and that's the Democratic minority leader, Karen Camper, had to remove them from the well.
Justin, I'm sitting here, a lot of people would say, well, if you really want to do something about a problem, run for office. Well, that's what you've done. You ran for office. You won office. And what you're saying to me is you're not allowed to express your opinion or your district's opinion in office, in the body you were elected to be in.
Nobody said he couldn't speak, but you can't bring a bullhorn into your state legislature and start using it and screaming into it, hijacking the proceedings and interacting with a mob that is in the visitors gallery.
Exactly. I mean, that is how extreme anti-democracy forces have become. I ran for office as someone who spent 10 years doing community organizing. I was one of the youngest lawmakers, the youngest black lawmaker, trying to represent my generation. And they told me that, basically that I'm uppity, that, that you need to humble yourself. I said, I'm not coming here as an intern, I'm coming here as a legislator, a colleague, an equal.
It's important for the public to understand how government works and how our body works, how the Tennessee General Assembly works. It works with order. It works with rules. You take order and rules out, it doesn't work.
They had to get a bullhorn to be heard.
Government doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, these are people who don't care about the government. This is the ends justify the means, Gen Z, Marxist, indoctrinated young people. And it's shameful that they're being reinforced by our own vice president and White House with an invitation to the White House.
With regards to the vice president's visit,
They had to get a bullhorn to be heard.
that reinforced the fact that they reinforced them saying, hey, it's okay to disrupt. It's okay to feel like you're above the rules and above the law.
They had to get a bullhorn to be heard.
And they said, well, we just occupied the well just for a few minutes. Well, hey, I just broke the law just for a few minutes. Is it okay? Can you let me go?
Well, they're enablers, and they like it, and they want it, and they want more of it.
We were calling for a ban on assault weapons, and instead my colleagues have responded by assaulting our democracy and taking the unprecedented step of expelling us for standing with the people and for speaking out and demanding that our House act on gun legislation when they cut off our mics and refused to allow us to talk on the issue on the House floor.
Remember the outrage over Josh Hawley lifting his fist on January 6th at the protesters who were there? They treated him like he was the devil incarnate. But these lawmakers can go in with the bullhorn, cheering on, egging on, inciting the protesters inside the House chamber. That is democracy in action. And any attempt to silence it or maintain a protocol for debate so the 7 million Tennesseans can be heard or have their opinions heard, that's totally different, right? The inconsistency is glaring, and we all know it.